In this episode of Success with Bob Mwiti Show, I'm going to teach you the various ways that you can fund your graduate studies here in the US, all right? Okay, in this episode of Success with Bob Mwiti Show, I'm going to teach you the various ways that you can use to fund your graduate studies here in the US, all right? Now, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, can you please do that? Can you hit that subscribe button, all right? Because if you do so, then you won't miss out on any of my future episodes. All right, now this topic is a 3-part series, okay? And I'll be going very deep in how you can fund your education here in the US, okay? All right, now, maybe if you follow me, you've realized that I've said this before in my other episodes of Success with Bob Mwiti Show, that it's gonna cost you on average about $25,000 per year, okay, to study here in the US, all right, $25,000 per year, all right? And this is usually if you're studying in a very affordable state university, okay? Now, if you are studying in a very top school, it can cost you way much more than that. In fact, actually, it can cost you up to $50,000 per year, okay, for you to study in a very top school, okay? But averagely about $25,000 per year in a very affordable state university, okay? Now, the question is, how can you fund that amount of money for you to come and study here in the US? And this is for graduate studies, okay? Remember, I always discuss matters to do with graduate studies here in the US because I came to the US as a master's student. Okay, now when it comes to studying here in the US, there's different costs that are associated with your studies here. There's the tuition fees, okay, and then also there's some other fees that are charged by the school, all right, and also there's living expenses, all right. This is cost associated with your health insurance, cost associated with your rent, cost associated with your books and things like that, okay? So you need to have some money to take care of all that, all right? Now, the first way that you can fund your education here in the US is through something called Graduate Assistantship Award, okay? Now, a Graduate Assistantship Award is an arrangement where the school pays full or part of the tuition fees that they charge you, okay, and also they give you a stipend for your living expenses on a monthly basis, okay. Now, in this arrangement, the school requires you to work in the department that will give you that award, okay. Now, one thing that you need to remember is that a graduate assistantship, as much as it's more of like a scholarship, you actually have to work for it, okay. You have to put in the hours, okay. You can't just get the money and then you don't work. You actually have to work, all right? Now, schools usually give half graduate assistantship awards or full graduate assistantship awards, okay? Now, if it's full graduate assistantship award, the school will pay everything in terms of your tuition fees, okay? Now, there's some other fees that the school may charge, and that is usually not covered by the Graduate Assistantship Award, and that one you have to take care of it. But it's usually not a lot of money. You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Appstech America. Appstech America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.appstechamerica.com. Appstech America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you. Now, when it comes to Graduate Assistantship Awards, the school normally won't give you that award just like that without actually asking for it. You asking for that Graduate Assistantship Award. Okay, now what you need to do if you really want to come and study here in the US, once you start now working with a specific school, ask them about Graduate Assistantship Awards, okay? These are very, very popular. Most international students, they get Graduate Assistantship Awards, okay? Even me, when I came to the US, from the second semester, I was able to get Graduate Assistantship Award. throughout, from the second semester until I graduated from school. All right, and the reason why I didn't get graduate assistantship award in the first semester is because I had no idea there was something like that. No one had told me. Okay, if I knew, I would have definitely asked about it, but at the time I didn't know anything about graduate assistantship awards. Okay, so it's up to you to ask the school about graduate assistantship awards. Okay, all right, there's a lot of them out there. You just need to ask. All right, now the monthly stipend usually is about, at most is about $1,000, close to $1,000, and this would cover your, your rent, your groceries, basically your living expenses. So if you are lucky and you're able to get a full graduate assistantship award, you'll get some really good money in terms of your stipend on a monthly basis. Okay, and you have to work 20 hours a week. All right, you have to be ready to work 20 hours a week. Normally, the way the graduate assistantship awards work is that they'll give you a job within the department where you will be working very closely with professors. And some of the work that you have to do is you can help out with maybe research work. You can also help out with grading undergraduate students. Those are some of the things that you do. You can also help the school in terms of invigilating some undergraduate students when they're doing their exams. All right, so those are some of the work that you do, but it's a very, very nice job. Okay, it's a job that you love doing. Okay, and I'm telling you this from my own experience. I used to work as a graduate assistant. Now, sometimes the school might give you teaching assistant, which is basically pretty much the same. All right, they might call it graduate assistant, or they might call it teaching assistant. The work is pretty much the same. Okay, you are basically assigned a professor, okay, who you work with and help out with any of that kind of work that I've just talked about. Okay, grading undergraduate students, doing research work, invigilating undergraduate students when they are doing exams, those kind of work. Okay, all right, so that's really how you are able now to fund your education through graduate assistantship award. All right, now if you get a full award, then you're gonna need very little amount of money to take care of the other expenses. Okay, all right, okay. Now if you get half, then of course you have to find the other half. You have to figure out where to get the other money to take care of your education here in the US. All right, remember I've said in my other episodes of Success with Bob Mwiti Show that please don't come here if you don't know where you'll get all the money for you to study here in the US. Okay, you have to know where you're gonna get your funding. Okay, whether it's through graduate assistantship awards or through any other means. Okay, all right, because if you don't have enough funding, then it just means you won't be able to complete your education here in the US. All right, and if you don't complete, then you're gonna fall out of status. Okay, if you drop out of school, then you'll be in the country illegally. Okay, and that can bring a lot of consequences. All right, now if you drop out of status, then unfortunately you can't even be able to work in corporate world, unless later on you're able to get your immigration papers through other means. Okay, so as an international student, you have to maintain your immigration status. All right, very, very important. Okay, very, very important. Because the reason why I'm saying this, because I see there's a lot of people out there, all they want is just to land here in the US. They think that you can be able to work and be able to pay for your education. It's not possible unless you get something like graduate assistantship award, because mostly when you're working as an international student, you're only allowed to work 20 hours a week and you work on campus. Okay, and most of those other jobs, apart from graduate assistantships, those other jobs, they pay you minimum wage. Now that's pretty much it about the first way that you can use to fund your education here in the US as a master's student. And I will see you in my next episode. Goodbye. You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstake America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.